Maiden on Smight.
Yeah, the neon one is really interesting just because it's just the outline and then it's black on the inside, and as the color changes, it's really cool how it works. And then the Maiden, that is, I believe, one of the new ones with the newest update to the version. And it looks like we are off with both runners. Actually, we have a small divergence, just getting 20 rupees in the house and a piece of art from the Sanctuary for Justin Z.
Yes, indeed. And it looks like Smite's going to head up to escape, whereas Justin Z's going towards, I think, Lumberjack.
Yeah, it does look like he's going to go that North Kakariko route. And as he said, it looks like Smight is going in there. He's going to set up a tree pull. No, he's just going straight into the escape. So as we start going through this little thing, unless we find anything important, what kind of seed are you looking for?
You know what? I'm going to hope for a Jet Seed, but I wouldn't mind nagging on one either.
Yeah, this is their first match, so if you're going to have a trolley seed in a match, I think the first one's the best one, where neither runner has that chance to be eliminated. It'd be really fun to see, and so far we haven't really found anything. Escape just had Piece of Heart and a 10-bomb upgrade.
Yeah, and I didn't quite catch what Justin C saw there.
I think it was half magic, so while a very nice item, I don't think we'll ever see them going for it, even if Aghanim ends up being required, unless they can somehow route it in the way. I just don't see them ever going for that, even though it is a nice item to have.
Yeah, and only 20 rubies at Mushrooms, sadly. Smight looks like they're heading that way as well.
Yeah, so they'll get their knowledge of the half magic, and as well as probably pick up the 20 rupees. Early on, those rupees are pretty important, so you can imagine them.
And we have a bow right away!
Okay, wow. Early bow, holy smokes.
That's a pretty good start, although where's there going to be although ammo is an issue.
Ammo right now is an issue. We haven't seen what the tree pull is. We haven't seen what a stun prize is, which of course we don't have any to stun.
We have seen a tree pull, though. It was just single rupees on one of the tiers.
Okay, so nothing exciting there. Looks like Justin Z is going to head into Kakariko. From the bottom, pick up these free bombs right here. You got a 50% chance to get a couple of bombs, and so he got one, which is nice to get that start.
Oh, it looks like he's going to be grinding again, going for a third pass. Unfortunate.
Yeah, it's frustrating when you have to do multiple attempts at it, but he does get 2 bombs. Oh, he's going to go for more.
I honestly don't like this. I would have just taken the 1 bomb and bombed the shed next to the chicken cut in Kakariko, because you can turn your 1 bomb into 4 there as a result.
Yeah, I mean, once you get the first one, maybe the second one is okay, but really going back and trying to get a third one, that seemed like it was a lot of time spent. But we'll see, maybe it pays off for him, as there's just 300 rupees on the race game. It'd be interesting to see if Justin goes for that, because that is that's a lot of rupees right off the start, especially where they haven't gotten anything yet, and this will make it so you don't have to do a Hulands to get a good chunk of rupees right off the bat.
Yes. And having that extra 300 rupees means they can do all of the shopping they need to in Kakariko. They can guarantee buying the merchant. They can buy some more bombs if needed. And just have a really clean Kakariko going north.
Yeah, for sure. And it looks like Smight is banking on finding some bombs in Blind's hut. If he finds some, that'll be a great play. If not, it's going to hurt. He's going to have to come back for that 1 item up there. So far, not finding anything big. Just a couple of arrow upgrades, a heart container, and a hammer!
Wow! That is going to be their main weapon of choice coming forward right now.
Wow!
It doesn't have quite as good of a range as the sword, but that's there. And that was a very fast library check. I think it was rupees?
Yeah, just 50 rupees it looked like. Holy cow. Early hammer, early bow. That is amazing. He will have to go back and see what is in that bombable wall behind the rest of those chests, which he'll eventually get to.
And the sword!
Okay. Oh, man. This seed it's open early. They got a lot of items. They got the sword. Both boomerangs in the waterfall. What is this? Or in the well.
In the well. But jeez. This is a front-loaded seed, and I don't like it.
I agree. I hate front-loaded seeds because you get all these great stuff, and then you end up just being stuck looking for one item forever. But this is a pretty amazing start, as Justin Z did end up buying bombs still. Smite's going to do the same thing, so he have not gotten any bomb drops yet. And the mirror!
The heck is this seed?
What?
We are a glove upgrade away from getting Dark World access and actually pretty much going through the majority of Pod.
We do need to... Oh, what the? I can't handle this.
I don't want to call it too early, but I think we might have a jet seed on our hands.
This is ridiculous. We are... Oh my gosh.
Fire!
I'm losing it.
Oh my goodness.
Okay.
Okay, I don't think we've seen a front-loaded Kakariko like this since the old version 18 days.
This is amazing. Oh. Okay. So we're missing Moon Pearl and Power Gloves, and we have full access to Dark World. We have access to, oh my gosh. What do we not have access to right now?
They
Besides
don't.
obviously Dark World.
They don't actually have access to Desert Palace or Mire.
Yes, okay. So no Mire, no desert, no swamp or ice, without the flippers. We still don't know what crystals and pendants are yet, so there's a lot to be found, but this Kakariko is absolutely insane.
They have like every single kind of weapon they could ever want.
That is just insane. They've got all the best weapons. They got oh my gosh.
The main issue right now, though, is the bow. And I'm saying this because the only way you can find arrows is through drops.
Yeah.
You are unable to buy them in stores.
There are in Eastern Palace a lot of drops there. We have not seen any drops off of any. Oh, there we go. Check.
I saw a pendant. I saw a green pendant at Hera. That's all I caught. I think
it's
maybe
Crystal 5 at Eastern and Crystal 1 at Desert. So that's actually a nice light world setup for the dungeons.
Yes, and there's Blue Mail for Justin Z.
Wow. Okay. So that's nice.
Yes, it is. It's my checking all of South Kakariko now.
Yep, just getting that information. He'll most likely pick up those rupees as well because he's had to farm for some rupees to be able to buy bombs. He'll be a little frustrated he didn't go this route first, I'm sure, but yep, there he goes, going for him.
And nice, quick Lamelas. Going to what I call the Light Hype Cave. Let's see how good it is this time around.
Yeah, there's still plenty of items out there. Bottle, all right, that opens up Sick Kid, and there's some arrows.
And the silver arrows!
Oh my gosh!
And some more bombs.
Okay.
Oh my goodness, that was an armory!
That was. You got 10 arrows with silvers and some bombs. Oh, and this is very front-loaded. This is crazy so far.
You know what you haven't seen yet, though, to make it truly front-loaded? We haven't seen the Can of Samaria.
Oh my gosh, if we find the Can of Samaria in Ice Rod Cave where Justin Z is heading right now, I just might quit. Oh my gosh, that would be ridiculous.
Yeah, it'll be indeed ridiculous. Although I'm thinking that might be the troll line right now.
Yeah, that definitely, it does do that a lot as we get just a piece of heart from Ice Rod Cave, and Smight is heading straight for Eastern. Not a bad play. We are still missing the lantern for this to be a full logic play unless he does pick it up on the way. There are 3 chests behind Sahasrala's hut, as well as a possible 3 items in Eastern. So I really do like Smite's decision here.
Yeah, and let's go see what it is. And we got Ether and 50 rubies. I missed the first chest.
Just a piece of heart, so nothing too exciting. Justin Z's right on his tails. Did Smight not pick up the boots? Oh, those were off of the bottle vendor, which Smight did not have enough money yet. Ooh, that's gonna hurt him just in those little milliseconds of time as he gets his map check. So that'll be something that Justin Z has a small advantage on, especially through Eastern, where there's a lot of straight paths to just go flying through with those boots.
And it looks like Smight is indeed dipping into Eastern. Pretty solid play right here. He has the means to full clear, even though one of the items will technically be, at least one of them will be a sequence break.
Yeah, and all Armos Nuts would be a sequence break themselves if he does not find the lamp in here, and he does get a few arrows, but he doesn't have silvers, so he's going to need a lot more arrows to be able to take on the Armos Knights, where Justin Z does have those silvers. Justin Z's routing has definitely paid off better for him, where he was able to get those boots off the bottle vendor, and as well as going through the south of Kakariko, he got the silvers, and also the 10 arrow drop. So his routing's definitely, I mean, you can see how much time he's making up on Smight just because of those boots.
Yeah.
I would say he was probably 30 seconds behind making this decision to head towards Eastern, and he's right on his tail. They're in the same room right now.
Oh yeah, there's no doubt. There's no doubt that these guys are doing really good here. Justin Z now passing Smight and getting a heart container. That's one of our items.
All right, so there's 3 items. So far, we got 1, and at this point, we are not breaking the sequence by not having the lamp. Oh, 8 bombs off of that. I call them squids. I don't know what they're really called.
I don't know what they are either.
All right, so as they work their way through, if they have 2 possible chest locations left, which if they do get the 2, one has to be a big key. So they have really 1 possible item left without breaking a sequence, and there's the big key. So nice place to get the big key.
Yeah. Very nice place when they get the big key here. And the compass, which means the dark rooms have both items.
Yeah, go ahead.
This is kind of interesting, though, that the way to Armos is technically locked because it's a dark room, but there's the means to light it.
Yes, that is true. They do have the fire rod, and I wonder if that is taken into. I believe you have to have lamp for dark rooms, even if there is a torch that you can light. For the logic, anyways.
Yeah. It'd be somewhat interesting if that was not the case, and you could, and the logic accounted for lighting torches, but let's not go that far. That's pure speculation as well.
Yeah, agreed. As we are going to find out what this item is from Justin Z, and Smight will as well. Just 5 arrow upgrade.
And I think that means, have we seen the compass yet?
Yeah, we see both the map and the compass. So Armos Knights definitely has an item. Justin Z definitely will be heading in there. It looks like both of them are going to head in there. They both feel pretty comfortable, especially where they have the fire rod, if they know that trick where you can light that torch. Otherwise, I imagine they're both pretty comfortable doing their the dark room in this this part of Eastern.
Yeah, and here we go. We're seeing Justin Z enter the door right now.
Ooh, Smight not picking up those arrows off the pot. That is actually really interesting. He needs them. Smight does use the fire rod since he had magic. Justin Z did not. So he is going to look like he's going to go get some rupees.
Would be a smart play. That sets him up for Zora later, even though they don't currently have a means to reach Zora.
Yeah, but 90 rupees. It doesn't take too much time. Justin Z makes it through just fine through the room just fine as well. He does not go for the rupees, but that's fine. He is just blazing through this palace right now.
Yeah, indeed.
All right, so Smight, it does not have a whole lot of arrows still. I'm really kind of getting concerned. I don't know how many drop off in these next couple rooms, but
I actually know there's like 3 or 4 in each of the 6 pots on Justin Z's screen.
Okay, so he should be good then.
Yeah, he should be good.
And Silver's making very quick work of Armos Knights with Justin Z to get the final item and the first crystal. Just a blue rupee, but we do get our first crystal, and it is one of the ones for the fairy items. So that is a really good play. I like it to play for both of them, even with it being a sequence break.
Yes, unfortunately, we still don't know if Aghanim is required for Dark World access. We are literally a glove away, but those gloves could still be in Dark World, for all we know.
We do need the Moon Pearl as well. So we are 2 items away, And yeah, but you are right. Those gloves could definitely be there. And it looks like Justin Z is going to do the rest of Escape, which I don't believe he's done any of Escape. So this is a really good play. He'll be able to do a lot of stuff in this this play for him. He'll probably, yeah, he'll do the front with Uncle first, or I guess the beginning of Escape with this would be more.
Picking up his heart piece from Uncle.
Looks like Smight is going to do south of Hyrule. Gonna wish he probably did this earlier with those silvers being down there. And, you know, it'll be interesting. He'll get the bottle. I imagine he'll probably turn that into the sick kid really soon and pick up those boots and be kind of frustrated that he didn't have enough money to get them earlier, because that is just something that just makes travel so much nicer.
What if the sick kid has yet another item that's front-loaded?
What if it's the flute? I love flute, finding flute in Kakariko because you're just right there. Or Dark World if you have the mirror, or Dark Kakariko. That's pretty nice. Village of Outcasts, excuse me.
I'm actually going to say that he has the Moon Pearl. But we'll see soon enough. Meanwhile, Justin Z going down there, he finds the small key for this place. So it's gonna come down to, is the dark room gonna be the map?
Yeah, if we find the items in these two chests as well as in the back of Escape, which we do not have access to yet logically since we don't have gloves or a power glove. Oh, there is the map for Justin Z. So there is very likely an item in the Escape, as Smight picks up their silvers as well as the armory and the health potion in the mini Moldorm cave.
Yes. And we're about to see Zelda's chest here. Silver is making short work of the guard there, and just a heart container.
Yeah, Justin's been making very good use of that early bow and silver, just making quick work of everything as he works his way through through the Escape area. And he's going to, let's see, where do you think he's headed to now?
I think Justin Z is going to turn into that bottle.
Yeah, I like this idea. Whenever you pick up a fetch quest type item, I'm of the mind to turn it in. You don't want it to be something big that you could have had super early. I've seen so many races where that ends up happening, where you get a fetch quest item and you don't turn it in, and it ends up being the bow or cane. And in this time, just 300 rupees.
That is actually good for Justin Z, because now he has Zora money.
They with that, I would say he's set for money drops at this point. Even when they make it to Dark World, they have all the money they need. Looks like Justin Z is going to work their way probably towards Agina's cave. They don't have access to Desert yet, and that's the only thing over this way, unless he was, I was about to say unless he sets a fake flipper, but that does not look like what Justin's going to do. But Smight does, and there's just 20 rupees on the island, Hylia Island.
Yeah, and I think actually he needs a little bit more money, Justin Z, for everything in Dark World, because we have the chess game, which is 30. We have Kiki the monkey for 110. We have 500 from Zora, but we also need 80 rupees for the digging game.
You are right. I forgot about Pod with Kiki. So Hobo has just 10 arrows, and Agina has a 5 bomb upgrade. So they can't get to Aghanim yet because they don't have a Master Sword or Cape. Where do you think, what options do they have left at this point?
With everything they
Bonk
have.
Rocks.
Yeah, the Bonk Rocks. Definitely the Bonk Rocks. Has to have some form of regression.
Yeah, everything Smight is doing right now is a sequence break. We do not have flippers, and we do not have a glove. So everything he's doing is a sequence break. So this has to be, power gloves.
Power gloves, and that means Aghanim is dead. No Aghanim required this seed.
Not yet. They do not have Moon Pearl. Aghanim can still have the Moon Pearl.
You're right, but in terms of having Dark World access, he's not required.
Well, no, they need Moon Pearl to be able to walk around in Dark World. So I believe, right? I'm not mistaken. I think I'm thinking correctly. That's important. Oh, the lamp in back of Escape, though.
Yep. But that means also they're now a sword upgrade away from actually having to do Aghanim. And what if it's Moon Pearl at Pyramid?
That would be pretty crazy. I mean, they still need a sword upgrade or cape. And at this point, with Justin Z finding the lamp and power gloves, they do have access to Death Mountain and Tower Hera, which with the hammer gives access to all of East Death Mountain. So there's plenty of places for them to check at this point. Smight really needs to head towards Kakariko and get those boots, because that is going to be very important with the power gloves being boot locked.
Matter of fact, I would actually, boots are required in that instance because you need both upgrades at one point.
Yep, that is very true. So boots are very required in this dungeon. We've not even been in desert.
With the lamp, Justin Z making the smart play here, following the logic. He's going up the mountain.
Yep, that is definitely a very smart play, and I would say Justin Z's routing has definitely played into the logic better than Smite's has, which is very, very unfortunate for Smight, because I mean they played it really well. They just missed out on the boots because they didn't have enough money, which is coming back to haunt them at this point.
Yeah, Smight now checking Escape. We already know what's all in there.
Yep, the back of Escape, which they don't have access yet to because they don't have gloves, which they don't have boots for.
I miss what old man had, unfortunately. Was not paying attention to that.
100 rupees. He paid you for saving him.
That one single 100 rupee drop in the entire game.
I'm sure he was very grateful to be saved from the mountain. I've always wondered how he got there in the first place without, any type of fire source. Kind of an interesting thing.
There's the flute, and they have the means to get it.
Okay, wow, that is.
And the
nice.
Moon Pearl! So it's absolutely required to get the boots. There's no way around it.
Yeah, they're absolutely 100%. Boots are not only good for travel, but they are 100% required. Hopefully, Smight heads their way to Kakariko, to the bottle vendor, to get his boots, and then power gloves, and they can make this trek, and they will not be too far behind at this point. And my guess is that is what they're heading to, is just as Z gets the Moon Pearl and sets up the bomb jump right here.
Is this even a possible bomb jump? Oh, it is! Wow!
It is. It is. It's very pixel perfect. It's one of those ones it's pretty hard. I struggle mightily with it. So it's one of those things, though, if you don't do it and you fall, it's not too much of a time loss because you have to fall down there regardless naturally, so it's not terrible.
Yeah, I just usually take the fall. And there's the flute. And you have to assume that he's going into Hera at this point.
Yeah, it's green pendant. You have the full access, full ability to clear it. Smight picks up their boots. Going to be really happy to get those. Probably a little frustrated. Head to Sick Kid. Not much there, but that will lead them in the right direction.
And we have a small key in the lower floors, but will we have a pendant or a basement required at Hera? We do.
We do. Oh man. At least they have the fire source, so it's not terrible, but this is just such a time sink, but both runners will have to do it if they make this play.
Yes, and there could be something important in Pendant Hera.
Yeah, and with it being the green pendant, that actually gives it a 3-item. That makes it a 3-item dungeon. Smight heading straight for Bonkrok's good idea. He'll get those power gloves and be very happy to find it the next piece of progression.
Yes, he's quickly caught up in terms of progression.
Yeah. Luckily, this seed did not let him go too much further. The sequence break to Zora ended up not having anything important for him with what he was able to do.
And he's going straight to the Moon Pearl. Or, no, he's going straight to the lamp, rather, and that'll lead him to Moon Pearl. Getting ahead of himself there.
Yep, he is following the logic just like Justin Z did. The logic, really has been pretty straightforward overall. I mean, they gave him a ton of items right off the bat. Justin Z sets up a nice death warp to get out of the basement and refill our heart pieces.
I find that kind of strange. If he's still setting up a death warp, he has the mirror.
Yeah, but I believe he'd taken some damage he wasn't wanting, and so that actually gives them more hearts in the end, and they don't have to worry about picking him up. I could be mistaken though. Definitely, maybe he forgot he had mirror. No, there's no way he could have forgotten that because he used it to get there.
Well, he might have also forgotten about the potion he has as well.
Oh, I forgot about it, so that's a good point.
Yeah, both players did pick up that red potion in the armory, as we called it, the Light World Mini Mola's Cave.
That was definitely the armory.
And there's the flippers.
Oh my gosh!
All of the stuff that Smight checked is now on sequence in terms of Justin Z.
Yeah, the only thing that Smight was not able to check that Justin Z did as he falls trying to set up the bomb jump, and that is one of the most painful falls.
Yeah, that one sucks.
That is just a painful fall. It's just so 2 levels. That's always bad. So it'll be interesting to see if he sets up that bomb jump again.
Good recognition there by Justin Z, knowing where the crystal switch was and having just enough magic to hit it.
Yeah, very, very smart play by him there to hit the switch instead of having to walk all around or even mirror out, which would have been slower than what he did.
Now, that crystal switch he just passed, I actually like taking a moment to hit that switch when I'm this early doing an early Hera. This is just...
I also agree.
Because it lets you open up all those pots right before Moldorm, and each one of them has a heart underneath it.
Yeah, and even though they do have blue mail, it's just, you never know, taking extra damage. You don't want to die on Moldorm, that's for sure.
Yes. And Moldorm has the item.
Yes, they do, and which also will give them the green pendant, so Moldorm technically has 2 items. Oh, is he... I'm surprised he didn't get that full magic drop.
He probably didn't see it in time.
Yeah, probably right.
And there's the... Is there a name for that trick? Just going between the bumper?
Yeah, just clipping it. I have no idea. Every time I try, I bonk it and it messes me up. I've never been able to do it successfully.
Yeah, we're seeing hammer strats here. Pretty textbook at this point with Randomizer.
Yeah, the hammer does tempered sword damage, and where they only have fighter sword, definitely the better route to go. It is a small hitbox, but you can avoid getting the crazy fast.
Kane
This seed! That's Kane! Oh my goodness, this seed is so ridiculously open, but it's linear at the same time.
Yeah, this is a really straightforward seed here. Now the question is, where he has the hammer, he's going to go to Spiral Cave. There's no question.
Oh yeah, no, that's the best decision. I mean, this is just insane. They do have Dark World access now, but you're up here. Finish it off, and you imagine Smite's going to follow the same routing, so he's only a Tower of Hera behind. This is not by any means is Smight out of this race yet.
Justin's making me a little bit nervous there, not checking the floating island before jumping into Spiral.
Yeah, that is an interesting decision.
Well, in my case, I've had 2 instances in which, well, there's the mushroom, that the bow was there was a required item there. It was the bow in both instances, but not this time, obviously.
Yeah,
but yeah,
that is...
in both instances, runners forgot about that location, and as a result, lost the race, or at least one of them did.
Oh man, that is tough. It's always tough when you forget those little locations that they're out of the way to get to, but you can see before going there. At this point, I'm wondering if he was just thinking that I don't have access to get there. Oh, 2 fetch quest items so far, though.
Yeah, the powder is going to be interesting as well. Having a means to heal is going to be huge.
I love the powder. It's probably my favorite security item. There's especially heading towards Ganon, there's so many places to get berries with a Master Sword upgrade.
And with that, we have everything we need to kill Ganon.
Yeah, Ganon is at this point killable, pretty easily at this point. All we're missing is Hookshot, and we can actually get to Ganon, barring the crystals, of course.
Yes, the crystals we don't know yet. And something else I noticed, they used the mirror to get to Hera. Neither one of them decided to open the map and check the crystals in that brief time they were bunny. That is something you can do.
That is a very good point. I wonder if they were just so excited about the flute that that was what was on their mind.
And get your swag ducks out, because it's time for that flute to come into play.
Yeah, get those swag duck anthems out. All right, so do you think where do you think Justin Z is going to take his Dark Gold access? Just right here north of Kakariko, since he's already here?
Maybe, but in my mind, I probably would check Disappointment Cave.
Yeah, I like getting that out of the way, especially when it was Hype Cave, but even now, like, it's just nice. There's a lot of possible items there. It's nice to get it out of the way. But this route isn't bad either. You have access to Skullwoods and Thieves Town at this point, and since they do have the hammer, they have full access to Thieves Town. So this.
Oh, they can full clear both dungeons actually.
Oh yeah, very good point. They have Fire Rod as well.
So yeah, that's actually probably the better play now. Let's see that, and we have a pendant, Turtle Rock and Pendant Mire. Their medallions are not required unless there's a progression item inside.
And Crystal 6 at Skullwood, so this will be an easy way to get the Pyramid Fairy items. And Justin Z is heading straight into the Skullwood, sees that 2 items as well as opening up a possible. Smight almost got trolled. Get back to my thought. Possible 2 more through the killing of Mothula.
And this means that the Samaria's usefulness dropped down significantly. It's not technically required just yet.
You are right. Samaria may not have been required in this seed. It depends on Ganon's Tower at this point, whether or not it was required, and if diving into one of the Pendant Mire or Turtle Rock is as well. But at this point, it is not required. That is a very interesting finding, especially we're finding Samaria so early.
Yes. And for those of you wondering what we mean by it could not be required, the big key in Ganon's Tower could be left side, in which you do not need the Cane of Samaria to reach.
Yes,
the right side.
Clarification.
The right side absolutely requires the Cane of Samaria. And it looks like it was just 5 rubies on the floating island.
Yeah, so nice knowledge for Smight, but not going to help him anywhere down the road. And as they work their way through Spiral Cave, it'll be interesting. My guess is they follow a pretty similar route as Justin Z. Activate the flute and head straight into Skullwoods. It seems like, thinking about it, that's a really good play, both there on Justin Z's part at this point.
And actually, I have to wonder what's at pedestal.
Oh yeah. What can even be there at this point?
Cannot be Ice Rod for once.
Correct.
It could be a medallion.
No, I mean, if it is, it wouldn't matter if it is.
Oh, you're right. Then what?
I don't. Hookshot. It could be Hookshot. I think that's our only possible item it could be. That would actually work for progression.
The only one is Hookshot. Although there is a set. No, wait, they need the Power Titans for that. Never mind.
Yeah, I believe, Hookshot, I think, is our only pedestal hype. And pedestal hype was destroyed pretty quickly this seed with how loaded Kakariko was. Justin Z dives on into Mothula. We'll see how their fight goes there, as Smight picks up the rest of the items on Death Mountain, which wasn't too much besides a couple of fetch quests.
Actually, this is the crazy scenario here. It could be pedestal required if it's Book of Medora and the glove is in Mire or Shed.
No, because you wouldn't be able to clear Mire without the Titans.
Right, you can't even get in there.
Yeah. And
no, wait, I'm sorry. No, it's in Desert. I'm sorry. I'm overcomplicating it.
That would be fun, though. That would be fun.
But yes, what I'm trying to say is Titans in Desert is the only way that pedestal is required via the book. Because they don't actually have a means to get into Desert right now.
Yes. No, because they would need Titans to be able to get into Mire. because the only way through that is fluting, and then you need Titans Mitts to lift that rock to get into Mire. So unfortunately, that is also not possible.
Right, I keep forgetting. This is a lot of items to keep in mind here when you're dealing with T-Rock pendants.
It's very true. You don't have many times where both T-Rock and Mire are both required. Smight heading straight for the powder. I like this. Check those fetch quests as soon as you get them.
But yeah, we can absolutely guarantee that it is the hook shot.
Yeah, for sure, hook shot. And I think that's the only item as far as progression that it could be. Of course, it could be the shovel that leads to hook shot, cave behind bumper cave, that where hook shot is. There's a few things that it could be, but hook shot is the item, as the magic badge just has a 5-arrow upgrade. And I believe Justin Z has now got both items out of School Woods with that 10-arrow drop.
Yes, and Buckshot is pointing out that T-Rock needs 5 items. I mean, there's also one other scenario, but it's all hook shot. It's all the hook shot.
Yep, and whatever item is on there would have to lead to hook shot as for it to be a required item. Smight is making the play on Pod. I like that play. You have full access to clear it. I actually did not even think about that. That's a great play, and Cape will not be something that leads to hookshot, as Bumper Cape only had a piece of heart.
Yes. However, the book can still lead there, as was can the shovel. So there are a couple of variables that we don't know yet.
Yep, and it would have to be leading towards the hook shot. That is definitely the last progression item. That is the last item for Go Mode. That is crazy. At 36 minutes, we're already down to 1 item for Go Mode. I can't believe that. That's actually even earlier than that.
And I think I like this play here to Smite. He's not doing Pod. He's checking Pyramid, and I think he's going to go up to Catfish and then check the waterfall cave that he missed with fake clippers.
Very good idea. Very good point. That is good. Just get that out of his mind. He checked him earlier. I did not see. It looked like rupees.
Rupees on the Pyramid, but I didn't see what Justin Z saw either.
Just 10 arrows, so nothing exciting for either of them. Smite, yep, head into Catfish. Oh, and with Mirror, he can turn Mushrooming. Really, I love this routing by Smight, actually. This is great.
Yeah, nice and clean. And he can even opt to drink his red potion right now and get a blue one.
Yeah.
Just for that added safety.
Nothing in King's Tomb, just a piece of heart for Justin Z. I really do like his routing as well. Both of them, the routing has been really good so far. The one thing, the boots hurt in Smight a little bit, but overall, their routing has been pretty phenomenal so far.
Yes, and it looks like the King's Tomb was checked, although I missed what it was.
Just a piece of heart, so nothing too exciting on Justin Z's check through the north of Dark World. See, they probably head towards Thieves Town next.
Yeah, Thieves Town seems to be a solid play here. He's got more than enough money to handle any sort of items he can find here.
And I actually did misspeak. We are also missing Titan's Mitts for Go Mode, so we're missing 2 items for Go Mode.
Yes, but we were talking about pedestal, and Titan's Mitts cannot be a pedestal this season.
Yeah, correct. All right, so nothing on Catfish, just a piece of heart. Smight will check on these chests, and he'll have cleared this whole area, which is pretty nice. He's gotten a lot of overworld locations cleared, which Justin Z does not have.
And so I'm just gonna call it right now. The hookshot is gonna be vanilla.
Ooh, vanilla hookshot. Will it be the vanilla-est of vanilla in Big Chest in Swamp Palace, or will it just be within Swamp Palace?
It'll just be within Swamp Palace. The last place they want to look for the hookshot.
Left side? Yeah, we'll go left side. Make it a little trolley. But you were right. That is definitely the last place you want to check when you're heading towards, or when you need hookshot, and it is in Swamp Palace.
And
any vanilla item.
And Buckshot Boo in the chat making a good point. They want to see the hookshot before the mitts.
That is a really good point. If you see those mitts, that'll make you start worrying about both Mire and Turtle Rock as possible places to head to. If they find the hookshot before, they know that hookshot cannot be behind Pendant, Mire, or Turtle Rock. So very good point, Buckshot. Justin Z is in Thieves Town. So far, just got the compass. Did not see what the very first item was, though.
It was 20 rupees, I believe.
20 rupees, okay.
And the pendant was cashed in for 50 rupees.
Yeah, just 50 rupees, so nothing too exciting. Big key. One more chest for Justin Z in Thieves Town before they head back into the rest of the dungeon, and it's the small key. So we have 3 more items left in Thieves Town, and with that early hammer, they have full access and full clear ability on this dungeon. So really, I mean, again, I like both of their plays so far. Really good, very different.
Yes. Smight about to begin his dungeon dive into Palace of Darkness. Let's see what happens here. He has everything he needs to clear it, so he's not worried about getting bow locked.
Yeah, again, there's a lot of items here. I really do enjoy this play by Smight, as well as Justin's. Like, both plays are really nice. The one nice thing for Justin's routing is when he does eventually decide to head over towards Pod and Catfish Pyramid, he'll also likely have the ability to check the Pyramid Fairy, so he'll most likely do that at the same time. So both of them really, so far, having really good routing in different ways.
Yes, and I just want to clarify here, we are on version 8.27 of the logic. Now, we've already found bow before, but back in 8.26, the bow could have only been in the first 3 chests that Smight has already checked. Now it can be as deep in as the big chest.
Yes, but we do have bow already, so it's at this point not too much of a concern, but that is correct with the logic change. And Hookshot can be in Hookshot Cave. That would be pretty brutal as well. You got that first chest you can check as we get our first shield, the Fisher Price shield.
Yes, and for clarification here, how can you find the Hookshot in Hookshot Cave? There is one chest that you can use the Pegasus boots to jump across the gap with a bonk. That is taken into account by the logic.
Yeah, and that is actually something that the creators of the game put in the game as a means to jump over gaps. That is not a glitch in this game. There are places where it's used more so as that, but it is put in as a logical use of the boots by the creators of the game. So really, really fascinating thing. I love how that's something that they thought of and like, this is a cool way to get over gaps.
Yes. And most notably, if they do find the Titan's Vent, that means the mire could have Hookshot. You would think that that's entrance means you need Hookshot, but you can actually do the bonk jump with the boots.
Yep, and that is one of the places where the creators have as a logical use. So, yeah, Mire and Turtle Rock can both have the Hookshot if we find Titan's Vents before. So far, as I'm not too surprised, neither of these dungeons having too many items. We've already gotten so many so early. I'm not surprised that we haven't found anything yet.
And Justin Z about to start their blind fight. Looks like it's textbook thus far.
Yeah, really, really good blind fight so far. Textbook.
I usually lose control of myself here.
Oh no, of course, Smight just found the Titan's Vents in the dark rupee rooms of Pod. Uh-oh.
Oh boy, that means the Hookshot can now be in Turtle Rock or Misery Mire, and they have a tempered sword as well.
Nice. All right, so Pod finally having some items, but that opens up both Mire and Turtle Rock, as you pointed out. I'm sure he was not happy to see that. I wouldn't have.
Oh,
that is.
Oh, and you know what it also opens up? It also opens up desert.
Oh, it does. You are right. Very good point. Which they would definitely do that before Mire and Turtle Rock. Plus, they also have Ice Palace and Swamp Palace that are now open because of that. Ice Palace is open because of it. Swamp was already open, so plenty of places to go before going into Mire and Turtle Rock. I imagine those will be the last places they head.
And we're getting a magic bat check over here on Justin Z's end.
Which we know there is nothing too exciting there. Smight has already done that. I believe it was 20 rupees.
Nope, just an arrow booster.
Mushroom was 20 rupees, I think.
Yeah.
I'm starting to get everything fused.
Yeah, so the Hookshot is at large, and that is our go mode item.
Yeah, it is for Smight. It is Hookshot. Justin Z still needs their Titan's Vents, which we know was in the rupee room, dark rupee room of Pod, on the left chest.
And for all we know, camels are only the map. Never mind.
Yep.
We're seeing the digging game over on Justin Z's end. Let's see what happens here. $11, $12.
This is a lot of digs. For 20 bucks.
I counted maybe 17 digs for that.
I think that's where I was at as well. For 20 bucks, that is that's rough. Justin Z is gonna do all the south of Dark Overworld. I'm kind of surprised they're not routing this in with the dwarves and the purple chest. Usually that's what people tend to do. It is an efficient way.
They can't do the dwarves because they don't have Titans-Mint.
Oh, you're right. They are the one that doesn't have the Titans-Mint. Thank you for correcting me.
But the Hollow Grove ledge, not having much items there. We're about to see what Flute Kid has. Also no Stumpy, just some bombs.
Yeah, and as some new people in chat have wondering, this is a super fast seed so far. Kakariko was absolutely loaded. We had bow, we had hammer, we had silvers down in the Moldorms on the south. We had we had boots on the bottle vendor. It's been a crazy fast seed so far. I imagine this is definitely going to be another disappointment cave as Justin Z heads there, but it could have the hook shot, which would be pretty crazy.
Yes, about to be checked. Only 20 rubies thus far. Meanwhile, Smight slaying the Helmasaur King.
That was a very good Helmasaur King fight by Smight, and oh, another red bottle. So nothing too exciting. Just another safety item in Hype Cave.
Yeah, and a little bit of extra money to turn into blue goo.
Yeah, good point.
And looks like Justin Z. Is he gonna gamble?
Oh, it looks like Justin Z's making the gamble. This is huge. If Hookshot is in here, this will be definitely, obviously, as we know, kill Turtle Rock and Misery Mire. But it all depends on how long Smight takes to go this direction, and might be doing so right now.
Yes, that is going to be huge here.
If it's in here, I don't even know. This seed would be ridiculously fast if it's in Hookshot. We might have, if it's in here and Smight goes there right after Hype Cave, which it looks like that's what they're doing first, this could be a sub-hour go mode, which is just insane with Misery Mire and Turtle Rock not being required.
Yep, and there's the first chest in Justin C. It's only a small key, but then again, it's always a small key.
Yes, it is.
And if you play the new key sanity mode, which was introduced in 8.27, that actually cannot be a small key guaranteed anymore.
That key sanity is insane. You can find Ganon's Tower off of a sick kid, or Ganon's Tower big key, excuse me, off of this sick kid. It could be anywhere. It's pretty crazy mode. I have not yet done one. I'm a little intimidated, not gonna lie.
I did one before. I tried to do some very unique routing, but I ended up quitting. But still, it is a very fun mode. You should all give it a try here once you're done racing. But let's focus on the runners here.
Yeah.
As Smight is now checking the Stumpy.
Yeah, and they'll most likely check this mirror location as well. And since they have time limits, we'll be able to see our dwarves and the purple chest checks, as well as the hammerheads.
Yes. We are still hoping for a hook shot in Swamp Palace. And then it'll become the question of when will Smight go there to check it for go mode.
Yeah, they unfortunately have Titans-Mint, so they hopefully, I mean, if it isn't here, we have no idea where it's at yet. They might check Turtle Rock and Mire before going into Swamp Palace without the hook shot. I don't know if Smight has the tendency to do that type of gamble, go into a dungeon without the required item, where it typically is found in vanilla locations. But that is something that I know seems to be pretty common for a lot of runners. Swamp Palace does have 6 possible items, and without hookshot, there are 4, possibly 5 chests if you get a big key early that you can check.
Oh yes, and now it looks like Smight is indeed checking the blacksmith, so we will know what they have. And it looks like Justin Z is checking left side, hoping to find that hook shot there. This might try to blow up a fence.
Did not realize that you cannot throw the bombs over that fence, so had to drop another one by the actual hut. As Justin Z has set up the full left side, so we will be getting that. And as chat pointed out, if hookshot's not in here and Smight does not check this before finding where it is, yes, they would not have to do left side, which will save time. At this point, we have no idea where hookshot is, so even if we have no idea where he checks first, so there's a lot of questions at this point. A lot of places they still can check, dungeons they haven't been in.
Yes, indeed. Now we're seeing left side here on Justin Z. We will see those 2 items.
Yeah, and we will only be able to see 2 more possible items. If one of these is the big key, that opens up the big chest, which still would only be 2 possible items, as there's a full heart container. So far, nothing.
Oh, and he has to do this double loop around.
Yeah, that is, it is so slow and frustrating, especially when you're racing. You're trying to hurry. It is just makes everything so slow.
And once again, because we have the Titans in pod, it can be in Mire Shed, it can be at Checkerboard Cave, it could actually be in East Death Mountain.
It could, and that is something that I forgot to realize was opened up with the Titans Vets. Dark Death Mountain is now open as well. It's something I imagine if they start making that gamble towards Turtle Rock, which we do not know what medallion it is yet. Keep in mind, we do have Ether, but we don't know what medallion Turtle Rock or Mire are. If they do decide to make the gamble on Turtle Rock, they probably will do Dark Mountain at the same time, and that's probably the only time they probably won't work to Dark Death Mountain until then, as we do not find Hookshot in Swamp, so Hookshot is not in Swamp Palace.
And both of us have forgotten one location where it could be, the one singular location, the Spike Cave.
Oh, which they don't have access to yet, because they don't have Cane of Burner, which I believe is, as the logic wants, is the required item. You can use Cane.
Well,
wait, what about, I think, go ahead.
They can tank it, is the thing. They have everything they need.
I do believe the logic does allow bottles as a replacement, and they have gotten 2 red potion bottles, so I believe they might actually do have access by logic to check that.
Well, even if they don't, it'll be a massive sequence break and in their favor.
That is for sure. If it is a sequence break, that would be insane. Alright, so Justin Z is going to get us that Pyramid Fairy check with those 2 chests, and likely check Catfish as well as the Pyramid item, and probably head into Pod, which will give them their Titans mids. We'll see if that's what they decide to do, as Smight is clearing up dungeons that Justin Z has already done. We did not find anything too exciting in either Schoolwoods or Thieves Town. That's why we have neglected to mention a lot of what Smight is doing in Thieves Town. I do apologize for not mentioning it too much, but Smight is making pretty good work of Thieves Town.
Blue potion and 3 bombs.
All right, so 3 potions, so 3 bottles with 2 reds and a blue potion. Not bad for safety items.
Now here's the question: once he finds the Titans bit in Ice Palace, do you think he'll dive into ice looking for the hookshot?
Ooh, I don't know. We'll see.
Because I've actually had the hookshot be in Ice Palace.
That's painful. You never. Ice Palace is one of the last places you want to go, just because it is such a long dungeon. If you're not in Go mode, it is one of the fastest Go mode dungeons that there is. But you never want to check it unless you are in Go mode. But yeah, that is definitely a possibility.
Yes, and Justin doing the overall checks that Smite's been doing. Smite's doing all the dungeons that Justin's been doing. So basically, they're just covering each other's tracks at this point.
Yeah, at this point where we are seeing that neither runner, again, it's so hard to know who might be at an advantage until somebody is in Go mode. Because unless there's like a big item that somebody misses, like early Smight missing the boots early, but but the logic didn't let him forget that for too long. It's just one of those things that you can't know who's in the advantage until somebody finally makes go mode. At that point, you can kind of have an idea of how far or behind somebody is or far ahead somebody is.
I'm seeing some references to something Smight does on a certain day of the week, but this is about the tournament right now, so let's not mention it too much more.
All right, so since we're seeing a lot of places that we've already seen, let's talk a little bit about the seed and where we think that hookshot might be. It started really fast. It started crazy. We got so many good items early.
Yes, and we still don't know where that hookshot is, though. That is our go mode item. We've checked most of the overworld. The only places that haven't been checked yet are related to the Titan's Met. They have not checked anywhere in and around Mire. They have not checked East Dark Death Mountain. And they have not checked Ice Palace.
Yeah, and of course we do still have that pedestal hype. The pedestal dream is still alive. It is a possibility. We'll have to see what, there's so many places where that hookshot can be at this point. Full, obviously everything in Mire, everything in Turtle Rock. So we will see where all this is. Justin Z finishing up the overworld locations that Smight has done. That'll be, I don't know. Do you think they go into pod after this?
I think Justin Z needs to go into pod just to get that Titan's Met and then start checking Mire. Either Mire or Hookshot Cave, because one of those two locations got to have some sort of item that gives them a hint to where the hookshot is.
I mean, they can do Desert Palace. I would do Desert Palace before either of those. It is a crystal. For Smight, they have access to it with Titan's Mitts. I like what they're doing. They're getting rid of all these other crystals real quick before making that play, kind of probably hoping they could do it all at once if needed. But it'll be interesting to see if that is what they decide to do. Justin Z, meanwhile, probably going towards... I'm not sure actually where they're headed.
I think he's setting up to go to pod at this point. Because there's nothing else over here for him to do.
Yeah, it's an interesting route if that's what they're doing. Since they have flute, they can go straight to 5, and that's definitely your quickest route into pod. But that could very well be what they're doing. I think you might be right.
And yep, they're heading towards that direction.
Yeah, a really interesting decision there. Where they have flute, you can flute to 5. That is definitely the quickest way to pod if you have the flute. But either way, got there not too terribly slower, especially where they have the boots. And they will make their way into pod and eventually get their Titan's Mitts and Tempered Sword. Be happy about that, but at the same time, maybe a little bit more worried because seeing, oh no, I took a while to get here. Titan's Mitts are here. What is my opponent doing? Oh, they did turn in Sazerla's pendant, which was nothing, but good routing on his part.
Smight already did that.
Yes, good call, good call.
So yes, in terms of pedestals, nothing can be there except for hookshot or something that leads to hookshot. So the ultimate irony is that they blindfold the pedestal for the book, and either Ether or Brahmos has the hookshot.
That would be amazing. That I believe if at the end of the game when it's scrolling, it says something about a paradox when the book is on pedestal, because you need the book to be able to read what's on pedestal, but you don't need the book to actually check it if you've collected all pendants. So it's kind of an interesting thing. And Smight, at first I was like, is he going to check pedestal? But he doesn't have a book. He's just floating away. Good call.
And now he's making the call the desert. And there is our 4th bottle.
Yeah, that is our 4th bottle.
And all of them are filled with the health recovery potions.
Yeah, one had blue goo and 3 reds. It'll be interesting to see if Smight heads that direction to pick it up. But they're going to check Agina's Cave before doing the full Desert Palace and Mire checks.
That makes sense. I would just go straight into desert and do it right now. And I have something sort of funny I like doing here regarding Checkerboard Cave when I have boots. I like dashing into the wall right before you get there in the Dark World. And so when you land in Mirror, you're right in front of the rock you need to lift to get into Checkerboard. On the left side.
Yeah, that is very, very good routing. I still struggle with my placement on where I stop with that, but if you can time it right, as well as Bombos is required for Meyer, so we do not have access to Meyer yet.
Alright, so no access to Meyer, although I've had Meyer pendants or medallions be right here.
Yeah, I've had that as well, and of course it could be a Desert Palace, which is just on the other side of the, well, in the light world of where Meyer is, so we'll see if that's where they go. They're going to do that before checking, or they're going to go to Desert before checking Checkerboard, it looks like.
Yeah, this makes sense to me, because that way they can just re-enter the portal and then check Checkerboard and then flute out.
Yep, I definitely agree with that.
But if Smight fails to or gets to check Checkerboard, that is a huge disadvantage.
Especially,
there's Bombos!
I was just saying, I've seen it in Desert before. That if you're Smight, you see it's Bombos. You have Titan Smiths. You see Bombos in Desert. You gotta be thinking something's gotta be in Meyer at this point.
And this is either the small key or the big key. It's the big key.
Yeah, big key.
Because the small, yeah, that's right. Because the small key has to be in the big chest. Speaking of big keys, Justin Z picking up the Palace of Darkness big key.
Yeah, and they're gonna go their way.
And they're heading straight to the gloves.
Yeah, they're gonna be very happy to get those Titans mitts, but not as happy as they would have if they'd already had a hook shot.
Yes. But now Justin Z knows he needs to start checking in glove of spots.
Correct. They will finish pod, of course, where it is, especially where it is a crystal, and they will get their temper, or they did just get their temper sword, excuse me. So that is good. As Smight heads to the right side of Desert, we'll get to see what other items are in here.
It's the Ice Rod, but we don't. Oh, Ice Rod. That could mean something huge.
Oh man. So
Trinex could have our hook shot.
Oh man. Or Trinex has. No, we'll just say Trinex doesn't have it. They just have to clear. This gives them. They now have the ability. Well, we don't know what medallion is, excuse me, from Turtle Rock yet, but they're only one medallion away from having it not matter. This could very well be something where it is a pedestal hookshot, or even worse, book on pedestal with Ether or Bombos having the hookshot. As I actually did see somebody in chat point out, that would be trolly.
I pointed it out earlier, yeah. So this will be very interesting here coming forward. Stay tuned, guys. We've got a big gambles coming up here in a little bit.
Yeah, this is at this point. I mean, this seat started so wide open for them, but it kept them pretty linear for so long. It was so fast, but so linear, and now all of a sudden things are just turning all over, going completely opposite direction for him.
Did you see that Lammolas there real quick?
Yeah, that was
It like exploded vertically in all its segments. That was an interesting little glitch right there. Visual glitch right there. But anyway, Smight picking up his Desert Palace crystal and will most likely check Checkerboard Cave. Let's hope he doesn't forget.
Agreed, and I agree with chat. A lot of people in chat are saying Meyer is probably where Smite's heading next. I think it makes the most sense. You have the access to it right now. I mean, I know it is a pendant, but I think it's something that you at this point, you're here, check it. Don't gamble on something, because if it is in there and you're checking it while you're here, you are saving so much time. But if it's not, well, it is a waste of time. It's not terrible.
And here's the Checkerboard Cave check. It is just 20 rupees. The big 20. And Smight Is he warping back to 6? No, he's going to 8. He's going to the Ice Palace.
Which, I can't blame him. This isn't a terrible play. It is a crystal. You try to avoid pendant dungeons as long as possible, especially when they're Mire and Turtle Rock. They're long dungeons, regardless of go mode or not. So if you can avoid them entirely, that's great. As Justin Z has a nice clean fight on Trinex, picks up their crystal. We'll see if they head straight to the Mire area.
And I just now realized this is, I think the Bombos influenced Smite's decision to go into Ice Palace. Purely because of its ability to break open Cold Stare instantly.
Yeah, I mean, that's also a very good point, and what Bombos can be used for. But they have Fire Rocks. They've had the ability to break open Cold Stare for a while, but without half magic, you have to have full magic and hit every single shot.
Yeah, so this, but having Bombos only takes about a quarter of your magic, so it's a very nice time save.
That is a very good point, and it's a guaranteed clear. Oh, Smight is heading straight to Death Mountain. Maybe changing their mind. Never mind, they changed their mind.
That was Justin Z heading to Death Mountain.
Excuse me, Justin Z. Oh, they're heading to Ice Palace as well. So we're gonna be 2 runners in Ice Palace at the same time.
That's gonna say. Now Justin Z still is a dungeon down over Smight having done Desert first. So if Hookshot's here, then it's gonna be a really close race.
Yeah, if Hookshot is here, Smight is definitely in the lead. Desert Palace won't be too terribly long since the big key was not in a bad location. It was not on the right side, so they'll just be able to quickly clear Desert Palace if Hookshot is indeed in Ice Palace.
Yes, and we are now seeing the bomb jump room. Smight messing up slightly. Oh, he's having some trouble.
Maybe a little bit of nerves getting to him at this point, and a little had to calm down. Oh, just
there he goes. He got it. And Josie just having a little bit of trouble getting out of that one room. He seems to be fine now.
Yeah.
And time for some penguin bowling. Oh, misses the
Almost
strike. Missed the strike.
He's got a spare.
And this is really good recognition for Smight. He knows he has a key, so he's going to do this left side, so he doesn't have to worry about the hook shot.
Yeah, very good play.
He'll clean up everything on the left, go down the right, and doesn't have to do the room that technically requires a hook shot to cross.
Oh, and using that powder to get the fairy from the bunny beam there. Very, very smart safety use of that powder.
Yes, I seem to have some issues getting the bunny beam when it's moving, so getting it when it's stuck like that is pretty good.
Yeah.
And just see about to do their ball jump. And I see 300 rubies on Smight, so we're pretty good there.
Yeah, not bad so far. Ice Palace not having the hook shot. There are a couple more people. I think we've only seen one item, if I'm not mistaken. We've just seen keys and the big key, and now the compass. I don't think we've seen the big key yet, though. So it's still definitely possible that could be on Cold Stare.
Big key cannot be on Cold Stare, but yeah, the hook shot could be.
Sorry, yeah, the hook shot was what I was referring to, but yes, you are right. The hook shot or the big key cannot be on Cold Stare.
Our second item is bombs. I think that's actually vanilla too. I think they give you bombs there so you can give to the big chest.
Yeah, I believe you are. You're probably right. I don't know. I haven't played vanilla in a long time, so I am not entirely certain with that. Smight does not have the big key. I don't think.
Well, it doesn't matter. He can go through these doors and just walk through them. And the big key has to be in the room with the 2 jellyfish.
You're correct. Yep, that's exactly where it is, and that's probably where Smight is heading. And they will check the item behind the big chest, see what they have, see what it has.
And the way he's routing this, he can just go left when he enters the long vertical room, and
yes, Justin Z does get the big key off of there, as Smight does as well. So we'll get that check from Smight shortly.
And Justin Z once again doing what I was saying.
Yep.
Smite's going back the way he came, but Justin Z is taking the smarter play and jumping down. This will let him check the big chest, whereas Smight can't do it because of the blocks blocking his way.
Except he just realized he does not have the hook shot to be able to hook shot glitch across the block. So you have to go the vanilla way with the bombs. So
he could have. I've seen people bomb jump across that gap from the right.
Yeah, he fell, and so he was not able to do that. So instead, head straight into cold stare. We will see if the big key, the big chest has an item or if it is a small key. I believe that is what is left, is an item as well as a small key.
And Justin Z having to use the fire rod. Oh, they're having a little trouble here. But they have plenty of red potions.
Yeah, plenty of red potions. So both on cold stare. Really, really good fight for Smight. Justin Z had a little bit tougher fight.
It's a small key!
So big chest does have an item.
Do they go back in or they check somewhere else to hope to find the hookshot there?
Oh man, you have to go check that. You have to. If it is the hookshot, you are wasting so much time checking places.
I think it will depend on if they feel behind or not. Because that's a huge time commitment.
That's a good point.
And neither player's doing it.
Well, and Justin didn't check a whole lot of ice palace. That's a really interesting decision. He didn't check the right side of ice palace at all.
Yeah, this is a smart play. Justin is heading over to Turtle Rock.
He might be doing Dark Death Mountain first. We'll have to see. There is those plenty of item locations there, but probably making the Turtle Rock gamble at the same time.
Yes, and
Smight is probably doing the dwarves, which we have not seen yet.
I think he's actually checking bumper.
Yes, I am wrong. That is probably what they're doing, checking all this. That Justin Z is already checked, so we know there is nothing of value up here.
Would have been a nice stretch to have the hookshot up there on Bumper Cave, and then the capes in one of the tablets.
Oh, that would have been. Oh man, that would have been brutal. But we do know that's not the case since Justin Z has already checked all this for us. So unfortunately, that part cannot be the case. But it can still have something in those tablets that we need the book. So there's still so many places that these runners have to check. How fast to start, and it is definitely slowed down.
And just as he did, it confirmed them real quick. Took us a moment there to see that it was indeed 5 rubies there on the floating island, so he does not have to worry about that.
Yeah, and Justin Z going into Dark World via this route, not a bad idea. We'll see what Turtle Rock is, and it is
Ether. They could have got in.
All right, does he go in right now? I think he checks Dark Death Mountain first and then goes in right after.
Yes, I would absolutely agree to that.
Yeah, looks like that's what they're going to do. Smight is heading to Dark Death Mountain as well. Going to be following a similar routing. So if its hookshot is up here, oh, this is going to be crazy. Again, Smight will have a slight advantage because they have done Desert Palace already. So slight advantage to Smight at this point because of that.
And there are those bombs coming into play here to get across. The single arrow!
Validated with the single arrow. We can now kill Ganon. We have that single arrow. Which,
yes.
For those who don't know, it's just a small joke running around. It does not do anything. It is literally just an arrow.
I've heard a few stories that people have claimed that it is the one arrow that you fire to finish Ganon off. Is that specific arrow?
I mean, it's fun to think about that, but there's no way of really knowing that. But that is fun to think
Red
about.
mail on Justin Z, by the way.
Nice. So we got our red Neon Link, and likely going to see red Maiden as well, with Smight following a pretty similar route. Justin Z heading straight into Turtle Rock. Here we go. Here's the gamble.
And both players are making it. So if it's not here, then it is in Misery Mire. We know this for a fact. They've checked almost everywhere else they could.
Between the two of them, except for Big Chest in Ice Palace, we have checked most everywhere in this place besides Mire.
And pedestal. I almost forgot pedestal.
Oh, correct. And pedestal. And of course, we don't have the books. So we've not been able to check the tablets. And then we do not have any way to check Spy Cave. So few really out of the way locations besides these two dungeons.
Yes, and they're both going to have to take the slow way through this place. They have to go south.
Yes, and it looks like Justin Z does remember that. Very good. The first time I encountered this, I totally forgot. It took me a few minutes to realize what was happening. I was like, oh, no hookshot.
Yes. I mean, there is that nice little loop right there in case you catch yourself in a muscle memory.
Yes. All right, so Justin Z does a really good job with the hookshot-less room in there. So, and with no invincibility options, they're gonna have to be very careful with these spikes.
Yes, they do one whole heart to you in red mail, but they actually do a little bit more if you're wearing blue or green.
Turtle Rock in green mail is just, oh man, that is just painful. Chomps oh man.
The Chomps do 6 whole hearts of damage. The second highest damage total in the game. The first one being a hug from Ganon.
Which is 8 hearts, correct?
I believe so, yes. So definitely do not want to deal with the dog. If you can. Speaking of them, there they are.
Yes, there they are. Still do a ton of damage, even in red mail. It is just insane that these they have no place in Zelda. I don't know why they're here. Wow.
Sanctuary Heart right in the chainsaw room. That is really well timed.
That is the best place. Oh, Smight getting knocked off the platform by a jelly. But now going back to that Sankar, that is the luckiest and best place for that to be in this dungeon because they're... Oh, and he does it again!
Resetting the room, that's pretty smart.
Yeah, very, very smart. I got in trouble by those. Justin Z taking care of those anti-fairies so they don't hit him around. Very good decision. Yeah, that Sankar, man. That was lucky.
Justin Z scared for his life with the buddy beam. I don't know why.
Yeah, that was really weird. He did not want to get bunny beamed.
20 rubies there in the small chest.
All right. I for a second I thought he was just going to completely forget about that chest, and I was like, oh man, that's kind of a pretty big gamble if it's in there. But
I just realized though that going forward, Meyer might have been actually required by the logic standpoint, not necessarily for these runners, but they don't have an invincibility item for Laser Bridge, and they do account for that in the logic.
Unless they find 2 more shield upgrades. But yeah, that's a really good point.
It's actually impossible for them because they need a key from at least the big chest to get downstairs.
And Mimic could have one, and the big chest could have one, if I'm not mistaken. It could be that way.
Yes.
But the chances are pretty low.
Yes. I mean, even the Cane of Samaria or the Cane of Burna will be fine.
Yeah, true. If they get that, then they do have logic access to Laser Bridge.
In which case, if they don't, they'll have access to Laser Skip. And another heart container there. Justin Z's got a pretty comfortable health total at this point, as is Smight.
Yeah, there's never been a point where they weren't getting hearts. They've kind of been just slowly gathering hearts throughout the entire race. There's never been one moment where there was a ton or not any at all. It's just kind of slowly been getting them.
Oh, now there is a situation here. There could be another small key in the roller room coming up here. And that means Laser Bridge was completely optional.
Yeah.
So the question is, do they check it, or do they risk it being a pedestal seed? And there is a small key. Oh my goodness.
Oh man. So, I mean, Trinex could still have the hook shot. Justin Z messing up on his platform there. Oh man, that is crazy. They would not have needed to do, depending on what's going on here. There's so many things that it could still be. But yeah, laser bridge at this point is not required by the logic.
No. Unless the hook shot is there.
But then they would have gone the wrong routing if it is there, because they do not have any necessary items by the logic to clear and check laser bridge.
That is correct. And there is Justin Z checking the laser bridge. We're going to see some laser skips here. Just looking at from the first chest. Any one of these could be our hook shot.
Very true.
Maybe. There's the compass!
So Trinix will definitely have an item.
The bug net!
Bug net!
We can have some swag in him later. And 20 rubies.
Oh, man.
Laser bridge was 100% optional. Is he?
He's not checking Trinix.
He's not checking Trinix? That could be a huge mistake.
Oh my goodness.
He had
He's
the
checking
means.
Meyer.
He had the means. I would have checked Trinix, absolutely.
I agree with you. So one thing he has not done is check Desert Palace yet. And he's not been in this area. So this is new for Justin Z. We know that it is not in this area, which for him is a very good thing, because he would be kicking himself for not coming here before Turtle Rock and doing Desert Palace.
We don't know if it's in Meyer, though. We only know it's not outside of Meyer.
Correct, yes.
So if it's on Trinix, Smight just basically got this by the skin of his teeth.
Justin Z actually never picked up his ice rod. I'm trying to remember where that was. Somebody just pointed out in chat. Very good point. He couldn't kill Trinix.
Oh, that's right. Because Ice Rod was in Desert Palace.
Oh, you're right. You're right. That's right. It wasn't Desert Palace. It was. Oh my goodness. This could be huge if it is on Trinix. Oh my goodness.
Smite's routing paying off here. But now he needs to realize that there's nothing here. And Justin...
It may not be paying off. We'll have to see. It could be in Meyer still.
Justin opting to not take that fourth bottle.
He's got to be feeling behind at this point, having done Turtle Rock and not gotten anything with no ice rod. So he's probably just trying to hurry and just check major locations. He's not going to waste his time getting things that he doesn't need. He's got another red potion still, and as well as a blue potion. I don't think he needs that red potion. He's fine.
Yeah.
Just a nice safety item.
Well, we'll combine with the powder and the net. You can just start stocking him on berries as well. Just be nigh unkillable.
Yeah. Yeah, and as DH, I think Storm, I can't quite read that, said, I did see you say that if Trinix has hookshot, this is over. I forgot that Justin Z did not pick up his ice rod, which is in Desert Palace. If hookshot is on here, Smight has a major advantage. If it's not, it's still up in the air. There's still plenty of things, plenty of ways this race can go.
And Smight beginning his Trinix fight. No ice on the ground yet. That is a really good run. And both the elemental heads are down. Now it's time for the last phase.
Make a very quick work of Trinix with the use of that tempered sword, so very well done by Smight, and gets a very nice clean kill on Trinix.
And Private Eyeball, yes, Justin Z did check the interior of Ice Palace as much as he could, or Swamp Palace as much as he could. The hookshot was not there, and it's right there!
Oh
Smight is in go mode!
Oh my gosh, that is go mode for Smight at 1 hour 23 minutes, and Justin Z is definitely behind by quite a long shot at this point. He might even check Meyer before going back for Trinix.
I think... I don't want to say this too early, but I think this is Smite's race to lose. He needs to go to Swamp now.
That's all he has left is Swamp, and he will be able to go mode it. He is definitely in the lead. There is a significant lead at this point. Even if Justin goes straight back to Turtle Rock and clears Trinix, that is... I mean, he's at least 5 minutes ahead at that point. Even though Smight does have to do Swamp Palace, and if he, actually, if he goes straight to Turtle Rock, it may not be that bad. I just don't see him going straight to Trinix for hoping for one possible item there when Meyer's right next to him. Oh man, Smite's routing going into Meyer area first and Desert paying off huge dividends for him. Huge play for Smight. This is a major advantage.
And Justin Z did not pick up the Ice Rod just yet. It's our tracker mismarked there. He grabbed Bombos and is going to the right side to now go get his Ice Rod.
He was gambling that Land Mollusk would have the other item, since he saw one was on the torch. Not a bad idea. It's really not too terrible to have to go all this way and, or excuse me, have done the way he did it. Really not a bad gamble. Probably not much of a time difference either. Maybe even slightly quicker going this way.
Yes, and once again, shout out to our tracker and our Reasoner for doing such an amazing job thus far. And shout out to these runners as well. They've been putting on a great show for you today.
Yeah, they have. They've both been playing really well. Execution's been on point. Neither runner really making any major mistakes. Just one wrong gamble for Justin has got him at a disadvantage, and he is heading into Meyer. This is not good for Justin.
No, and you can see there was that frustration bomb right there as he left Desert Palace.
Yes. He knows that getting that Ice Rod there, he's still going to make that Meyer gamble. Knowing with how he's done, I cannot blame him. It is very, very, very bad for him, though. It's super unfortunate that this is what has happened for Justin Z. This is definitely Smite's race to lose at this point.
Oh, you know what? He could be thinking now it's Pedestal.
Yep, I definitely agree with that.
Which means he'll do Turtle Rock last, and then with the realization that it's not Pedestal, it's just on Trinex. Oh, you gotta feel for Justin Z here. He's doing his best, but oh.
Yeah, I don't blame him for going to Death Mountain once he got those Titans bits first. It was the wrong decision, as we know, and he'll find out shortly. But oh man, that is definitely something that's haunting him at this point. When he finds that hookshot on Trinex, he is going, I can only imagine the rage that he will be feeling.
Yes. And with the Tempered Sword and the Silver Arrows, Smight will have a very easy Ganon.
Very easy. I mean, at this point, like you were afraid to say it earlier. I feel confident saying that this is Smite's race to lose with Justin diving into Meyer. This is his last dungeon. He was able to go mode swap. Cold Stare will not be a problem either. So he'll be heading to Ganon's Tower before Justin is even able to be in go mode.
Yes. Thankfully, though, this is only race 1 of the tournament for these two. These guys will be matching up again. So Justin Z is not out of it just yet.
Yeah, Go ahead.
This is just game 1 of the series, so stay tuned. These guys will have a few more matches. Is still.
Yeah, and they were guaranteed at least one more match. Justin Z will be able to even it out. And this is, it's not over yet. Justin Z did pick up Buttersword and Myers, so not terrible, but it's not what he wants.
No. If anything,
man.
Well, Buttersword will actually make him scan fight just a little bit quicker, but yeah, he really wants to see the hookshot, and unfortunately, we know it's not here.
Yeah,
And Smight has cleared all 7 dungeons, so it's time for that game we love so well.
Yeah, you know what that means, chat? There are 22 chests in Ganon's Tower where the big key can be. We play this little game where you guess 1 through 22, and the closest person to that guess gets, I don't know if these channels are hooked up with the speed gaming game where you get your name.
They are not.
They are not. So if you win, you get, what do they get, Wolf?
I don't know.
Let's see. Let's go with some internet cookies. They get some internet cookies.
Okay, that makes sense, yeah. But as far as my guess goes, I'm actually going to call the Compass chest. That is the one I usually go for.
All right. I like going top left chest inside of the rando room, which, depending on the routing, sometimes ends up being the 11th chest or 12th. If they do the 2 chests on the right and then head straight left, that is typically how it works out. But number 11 will be my guess. What number would be the compass room normally?
The compass chest is actually the one that spawns the holes on right side, so it would be 6 if they went right and 21 if they went left.
Oh man, you are rude. You want that right side clear.
Yes. At least it's not tile roof.
Yeah, one short of the worst possible location. There was one time I played a seed where I just, for no reason, I decided to do tile room first, and it was there, and I was like, okay. It was pretty lucky.
Yes.
But back to these runners. So Smight is opening up Ganon's Tower.
We're seeing Alucard is in the chat wanting Bob's chest. Bob may not be alive, but we'll see.
We will see what happens. And Smight definitely doing the 2 chests on the right. What most runners tend to do. And one thing to point out, Justin Z's had probably the absolutely longest mire he could have had. Big key was in its vanilla location. So
and Smight is going right first.
Yes, he is. So we will see if it is in the compass room, in the compass place, as Justin is dropping bombs.
Also, I want to point out that because Hookshot was at Trinex, that means the cane was in fact required. So
Yeah,
Pendant Hera was required for Pendant T-Rock clear.
Oh man, that is wild.
The only dungeon that didn't have to be touched is Vitreous right here.
And Justin definitely making the play there, and it's not the right play, but making very quick work of Vitreous with those silver arrows. Not the right play though. Very, very, very bad news for him. He will not find the turtle rock.
And there's the book. 5 bomb upgrade, 300 rubies, and the map.
All right, so that is 6 chests right there. Smight, see if he continues on to Armos Knights after this key. And nope, he's gonna head straight left after this. Pretty common play these days. It seems like a lot of people will do that partial right and then go full left.
Well, yes, because there's a few extra rooms there that are kind of annoying to navigate. Big key on Torch!
Whoa, okay, so chest number 7. Big key on Torch. Bob is dead, but we will not see him.
So boots were required this seed as well, even more so than they were before.
Oh my goodness, this seed. All right, so chest number 8. I did not have a chance to see if anybody guessed, 7. I did not have a chance to see if anybody guessed 7 or was close to see who our winner was. Justin Z is going to do the dwarves. He's just doing so many things. He does not want to go back into Turtle Rock. That is really bad news for Justin Z.
Yes, unfortunately for him, we know it's the right play. Smight making his way up the tower. Will he do this little damage boost strat I've liked doing? Let's find out.
And it looks like, according to chat, Gloss guess number 7 is what I'm seeing.
Oh, congratulations to you, sir.
Congratulations, Gloss. You get internet cookies. So enjoy them. However, whatever kind of cookies you want, we'll let you decide. So pretty delicious, I'm sure.
And meanwhile, Smight going up the gauntlet now. Should be a very textbook gauntlet at this point. And also, yeah. I would like to point out, we have not seen any invincibility items this run.
Not at all, which is crazy. It's just crazy.
I mean, the hookshot does have invincibility frames, yes, but it doesn't provide him permanently while it's active.
Exactly, and there's so many times where you use it and you still take damage because they wait for you to come out of the invincibility and you take the damage anyways.
And here we go with the Lambolas 2. Just a little early on that second shot.
Yeah, just barely missed it. Overall, pretty good. He'll get the 2 cycle here. Very well done for Smight. He'll head his way on to the rest of the gauntlet as Justin Z is just checking more overworld locations. We finally got a dwarf check, and it was just 20 rupees. Gonna grab the purple chest here and just keep finding that is not where the hookshot is. This is really bad for Justin.
Time for what I've heard is the favorite floor of all the randomizer. Because you get to do cool Samaria strats like this. Which you
Very
can just
well
kill.
done.
Yes, very clean.
Yeah, very clean Wizrobe rooms. Both of them were really well done by Smight. Pulling out the lantern, and he try to conserve that power, that magic for the next rooms. And nice, taking the fall. It's a little bit quicker to do that.
And Purple Chest only having 20 rubies. It looks like Justin Z is finally going to concede that it is that it's on Trinex or Pedestal.
Or Pedestal, yeah, you're right. Which is the right decision. It's super sad that he did not have the eye shot when he went in there, because this would have been a very close race otherwise.
Actually, Samaria, or not Samaria, Bjorna and Magic Cave had to be somewhere in the overworld. I wonder where they were.
One of them could have been on Pedestal, which would have opened up that stuff. And they did get the book in Ganon, so one of them could be inside of one of the ether tablets, or both could have been. Since nothing that the invincibilities provided were required. Justin Z will head back into Trinex, make the long trek through Turtle Rock just to kill Trinex and get his hook shot and finish Swamp Palace. And he is definitely minutes behind Smight as he checks
the single rupee in what we call the validation chest, but that is also just a joke. It's not required to be opened or anything.
Yeah, it came back from the last tournament back in spring. Everybody would call it the validation chest. It was pretty funny at the time. New people may not quite understand that, but yes, run validated by opening that chest.
The way you can think of it is it validates your kill against Moldorm 2 by opening it.
Exactly. Good call.
Because even if you fall in the pit after you're opening it, it's still there for you to hookshot.
Yep. Alright, so Smight is on Aghanim 2. I believe so far has gotten one hit. Nope, that was
a clean Aghanim 2. So Aghanim is down for Smight, and he's about to go fight the pig.
Heading into the pig. Alright, so we will see how Smight does. Pretty easy Ganon fight with Temper Sword and Silver Arrows. Shouldn't see too many struggles on it with the Temper Sword and Silver Arrows. So we'll see how his fight goes. Meanwhile, Justin Z working their way towards Ganon. Unfortunately, well behind at this point.
Yes. It'll take 12 hits on each of the first two phases to send Ganon into phase 3. And dropping some grain facts on us this time. Thank you, Ganon.
Always with the knowledge from Ganon.
All right, so already on to phase 2, the fire spin phase, as I call it. Kind of a hectic phase. This is actually one of the most dangerous ones. Oh, and
yeah.
He gets a bat off in phase 3. Now these teleports are preset on the first instance you fight Ganon, but if he falls, it's going to be completely random. And it looks like they're getting a fairly good pattern.
Yeah, and he was able to avoid the bats on all but that very first one, so very good third phase as he heads into the fourth phase. Just 4 shots with the Silver Arrows and gets the Torch Glitch, so that'll make this extremely easy.
And it looks like this might be a double here for Smight.
Yep, and he's got one more hit, and there it is.
The pig is down. And Smight has won this race.
Well, let's hope he doesn't fall off, because that would definitely, be bad. He still has plenty of time, but he doesn't.
And he has done with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 38 minutes, and 28 seconds. And Justin Z has forfeited from the race as a result. GG to both of these runners, though. They did a really good job.
Yeah, very, very good run overall. Justin Z just had that one gamble where he decided to go to Turtle Rock before heading into Mire area, which cost him the race. Overall, really good run for both of them. It was close until that point. But GG's to Smight for the win. He goes up 1-0, and this part of in their matchup, They will have another race for sure coming up later.
Let's see about an interview. And hello to you.
Hello.
All right, we have Smight joining us. GG Smight, congratulations on getting going up 1-0 on your match.
Thanks.
That seed was really front loaded there. How would you think? What were you thinking going forward with that?
I felt like I made a huge mistake going for Zora. I just had the money, and I had such a hard time getting money that I figured maybe this is my chance. And it was a disaster. I felt awful the whole race until I found that hook shot.
Oh man, that's crazy.
Now,
this was. Go ahead.
I just want to tell you this right now. Your opponent, Justin Z, actually got to Trinex first, all the way down there, but he didn't go to Desert before you, and thus did not have the ice rod to finish off Trinex.
Oh no.
Which, as you know, had the hook shot, so that ended up being a huge loss of time for Justin Z, and then he decided to head into Meyer afterwards, and that just kept adding more time onto him. It was a really close race all throughout until that one small decision with the hook shot being on Trinex.
I was having a hard time pathing without the hook shot. I'm not used to that. I missed the chest and ice, and I was trying to do it in my head if I could get there without it or not. Like,
We did.
legit.
We actually don't. I don't think either one of them checked the chest there, but at least we're glad it wasn't the hook shot.
Yeah, because the big key was way over on the right, and I couldn't figure out a way across without trying some bomb jumps the other way.
Yeah, no, you definitely had a really good routing through Ice Palace. I mean, with that big key being where it was, without hookshot, made it pretty tough to head back there. But you both made the decision. You actually killed closer, pretty close at the same time, and both made the decision not to go for that big chest. So it was kind of interesting. We were wondering if hookshot was going to be on there, and you're both going to have to make your way back in there. Fortunately for both of you, it wasn't. So that would have sucked.
Would have indeed.
All right, so I got to ask you. You went up 2-0. You beat Koblala 2-0, excuse me, and you went up 1-0. You're up 1-0 on Justin Z right now. How did you feel going into this race, knowing that Justin Z was the overall 1 seed heading into the bracket tourney?
Just gonna do my best. I don't know. I don't feel like I'm gonna win this thing, but I feel like maybe I'll get lucky. That's why I was taking all those big risks.
And Justin Z is in the waiting room. Let's see if we can pull him in here for an interview.
All right, we are joined by Justin Z as well. GG's really good race besides that one gamble in Turtle Rock. How are you feeling about the seed after that?
Well, I basically felt like I went ahead into Swamp early that I was probably behind since. So I just basically decided, well, all right, I'm going to need to get a gamble right now to probably have a shot at winning. So it really just boiled down to that. GG, Smight.
Good game. Nice hook shot. Jeez.
Yes, we told this to Smight, but Justin Z, you were actually the first one into Turtle Rock, but unfortunately because of that ice rod play where the ice rod was, you did not get it.
Yeah.
And unfortunately Smight was going in with the ice rod at that time. So him checking Desert first was the ultimate turning point of this race.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense. I was thinking either it's going to be on Trinex or it's going to be the pedestal. So that's basically what I was headed for.
We just actually got confirmation on Smite's screen. The pedestal had a full heart container, so it was not required at all.
Yeah, Justin, what do you think about the seed early on? Like you bow early, hammer early, cane early, boots early. Like it was just super front loaded in Kakariko.
Fire rod even.
Yeah, it did, yet oddly linear early on, and then suddenly just exploded open once we got up Death Mountain.
Yeah, it was super, so many items, but very linear. It was crazy. You guys were flying along super early, and then just that hook shot. There's always that one troll item, and
Yep.
this time it happened to be on Trinex, which ended up costing you the match. But you do have another chance. You are only down 0-1, so you do have another chance to even this series out. How are you feeling going into that next match, Justin?
Oh, I mean, I always knew from the beginning it's going to be a big challenge against Smight, just a really good player. So, fingers crossed. I felt like I can level up. I'll at least give myself a shot if things go my way. But, being against as good of a player as Smight is, oftentimes when it's something like Randomizer, it's just going to come.
It's going to come down to a lot, yeah.
Yeah, and this is actually in this tournament. This was your first loss so far. You went 4-0 in the group stages with the best average time. So Smight getting that first victory over you. So GG's to Smight being able to get beaten undefeated. But like I said, this is only the first of 3, so there's a possible 2 more races. Smight, how are you feeling going into the next race?
Feeling okay. That was actually my PB on this version, if you can believe that.
Nice.
Nice.
I always make the wrong calls or get some hell seed. This was a way better seed than I'm used to. Except for that final item really ruined it, honestly. But even with that, it was still like 5 minutes faster than I usually get.
That's a great PB considering having to do the extra turtle rock in addition to everything else. That's excellent.
Yeah, very well run. And as we have Adirondack Rick pointing out in chat, race number 2 between these two will be at the same time tomorrow, 3 p.m. on this channel. So definitely tune in. If you liked what you saw from both these runners, please give them a follow. They had a great race. Execution was on point. It was a lot of fun to watch.
And if you guys are interested in seeing even more Link to the Past Randomizer here, on these stations, we have actually 4 channels dedicated to this. So make sure to give them all a follow. And also give a follow to these runners as well. These guys put up a great show tonight. Or today, rather.
It might be tonight for some people. Just before we head off, Smight, do you have anything else you'd like to add before we sign off?
No, I'm good. I'm looking forward to tomorrow.
Yes.
How about you, Justin?
Yeah, just hoping for another really intense race. This one certainly was, so I hope we can keep it up for the viewers.
Awesome. Well, good luck to both of you tomorrow. I know that if I'm not commentating, I will be tuning in to watch it. It was great fun watching you guys. I enjoyed being able to do the commentary. I have been Sir Laugh a Lot. I'll leave the last word for my co-commentator.
From our tracker Ryukas, from our recent Kaizuma, and me, Wolfing 0370, we shall see you next time, and thanks for watching. Later, folks.